And we are live. Let me also open up Instagram to go live there as well. Check, my check. Right, everything works properly. Amazing. All right, let me also put all the questions and all the socials here. So everyone is going to see, or I am going to see everyone's questions. That's the better way to put it. In the meantime, side chat, which is about this new automatic self-releasing scent aroma diffuser, and I had it down. And right now it's too strong. It's like choking in the meantime. It's all right. Occasionally we have to be officially imperfect on camera to see that actually this is not an AI automated person. So funny, guys. I had this funny convo because we're streaming live right now, and we're streaming like publicly, not only for a specific audience, but like everyone can see these recordings and join these recordings. And long story short, someone was joining and they were asking if I'm AI. I'm like, I'm not AI, guys. I'm not AI. I'm like putting my finger on my nose that, hey, it's a real person, you know? They were firmly convinced that I'm AI. At some point, I'm like, okay, you're going to die on that hill, and I'm completely fine with that, but it was so funny. People were thinking that I'm AI. Well, I am human being. Although having an AI version of myself, you know what, it's not such a bad idea, because what I could do is I wouldn't need to, you know, invest time in actually showing up on the screen nicely and well put together and so on. But would be completely fine to just show up on the screen. No makeup, no nothing, and just roll with it. That would be cool. That would be really efficient on my end. So I might be pulling one of those off and trying to see if people are going to notice or not. Okay, cool. So in the meantime, while I was chatting with you here, what I did is just ensure that right now, everywhere where we're streaming properly. Right now we're streaming both on or in three places: LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. So if you see me going this way throughout the questions, the reason why. So just let me make the screen a bit bigger so I can read through also the pre-submitted questions. Oh, and people are joining. Hello, hey, and welcome. A pleasure to have you here. My name is Noemi. I'm the co-founder of ScaleWave, an ad agency company that is specialized in helping sellers selling on Amazon. Thank you so much for joining. And basically, this is going to be a publicly streamed session that is available to anyone to chime in. Mainly, we're going to prioritize Amazon ads and Amazon pay-per-click, basically. But if you have any questions that are ad related, or have you ever had a question that is business related, I'm like, I don't know who to ask, here today you can ask, feel free. Anything that is hiring, firing, SOPs, processes, systems, core values, all those questions that I wish I had someone to ask back when I started both selling on Amazon and also the agency. Those are the things that I'm going to answer. As priority goes, we are going to prioritize beginner questions. So let me just walk you through on how do these sessions are going to be. So today's session, basically, we're going to allocate 1 full hour to this session. And during this session, what I'm going to do, I'm going to answer all your Amazon PPC questions, mainly that are beginner first. And then if I see a question that is more intermediate or advanced even, I'm still going to answer them. But mainly I'm going to focus on the beginner questions. Why? Is because 5 years ago, when I started learning about e-commerce and Amazon and selling on Amazon and creating your own private label brand, I did that all from scratch. I came from a totally different industry, from music production industry and into e-commerce, and I knew nothing about marketing. I knew nothing about what it takes to create your own brand, your own line of products, create ads for your products, create images for your products. So I learned everything from scratch. And I realized now, 5 years ago, it was like, okay, this is what it takes. But right now, I realize how much does that takes. And those are already prerequisites for you to be successful on selling your brand. So that's why I'm streaming these sessions, because I've got a lot of questions that are both beginner, intermediate, and also advanced. And I'm aiming to streamline all the knowledge that I know into this session. Okay, so here, as I was saying, we are currently streaming on 3 different channels. Also, we're streaming vertical and horizontal, which is cool this time. I'm going to see how is that going to perform. And the reason for that is because I wanted to make sure that on all these channels, people can reach out and ask their questions. And super important, before I'm officially going to start, what I love to do during these sessions until questions are coming in and I can see them, and also I can reference to the questions that have already been submitted, I wanted to talk about something really, really important that today I was thinking about. Specifically, it was initiated by a call that I was just on 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, something like that. My first call in the morning, it was potential lead call, which is always exciting. Now, they're calling them lead calls. I would like to call it potential partner fit, with someone to onboard them and manage their ads. And something really important came into the discussion. So to make sure that I'm not going to share private information, the idea was that this brand was focusing on multiple things at the same time. And they were like, okay, what do I do next? And I was like, hey, let me talk to you as I would talk to myself whenever it comes down to zooming out for clarity and understanding what is my most important priority that I should be allocating time towards. Reason for that is because I know that even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I did not have the discipline on how to prioritize and how to keep myself in check when it comes down to prioritization, I had the hardest time, because literally, as I was saying, if you joined the session from the beginning, I was wearing so many hats. I am still wearing today very, very many hats, but 2-3 years ago, I was wearing so many hats, I did not know how to prioritize. And way more important is that because I am really good at execute right away and solve problems, I didn't know how to prioritize what is a problem to solve right now and what is a problem that should be fixed maybe in the next quarter, or maybe even 2 years, right? So I was prioritizing things that were not a priority. And that made me believe that I am very, very busy and I am allocating so much time to my business, and things still don't work. Things still don't not add up, and I am still not progressing. And that brought me into this constant frustration. So today I want to show with you again, the topic was, how do I prioritize things and what I'm focusing on? This sticker, guys, literally is something that I just took off my monitor. Proof, if you can see, there's a full it's a lot of cat hair there, proving my point that actually it was, and it still stick to my monitor. This is something that I put on, I believe, 2 years ago, and it's still there. And the reason why it's there is because I want to show you that when you are learning a skill and when you want to remind yourself of applying that skill, which in this case is going to be choosing the one problem that is really the most important for you to solve, and then going for it and solving it and prioritizing during the day, to prioritize that first during the day, rather than, oh, I have 30 more minutes left in the day and I did not focus on this. This is my reminder, and also wanted to encourage you, have one of these reminders in front of you to focus, solve the one problem at a time that is in front of you. And this one problem at a time supposed to be part of a bigger goal. So this goes inside of the goal that you might have for the quarter, or you might have for the whole year. This is the one problem that you're solving for and allocating most precious time in the day for it. Because as I was saying, talking to this person, it's just like reminded me, hey, I did not know how to prioritize. Hey, I did not know how to focus on. And most importantly, all the content that I found out there, either talking to people that are higher, in a higher position than me, either they are more achieved or they are the next level where I want to be. Either I was just literally scrolling and looking on YouTube and finding, okay, how to prioritize and so on. I did not found this, and this is something that I found very, very hard, and it's something that is most helpful. Solve the one problem that is within the main goal, and then come back to it. Once that is solved, then you're going to go to the next problem. Certainly hope that this was helpful, at least for the one person that is watching right now, or multiple people who are watching right now, because this is something that it's also we are applying in our agency when it comes down to advertising. And that ties really nicely into one more topic that I want to bring up, which is what are you going to prioritize on when it comes down to, hey, I have all these things going on within my business, and I just don't know what to prioritize on. Find that one thing that has the highest, biggest lever for the business, and have this in small chunks, right? So have it in small chunks and every day work towards solving this one problem. Certainly hope that you found value from this. All right, cool. So questions are coming in. Let's get to it. Amazon related. Perfect. I'm going to first prioritize those ones. Okay, the very first question is, what should I look at when auditing an Amazon PPC account? Amazing question. So let me tell you how we are doing it. And again, because I just had this convo today, it was really important that the brand understood what we were looking at. It's really important to understand when it comes down to auditing an Amazon ad account is the ad types that are running within an account. Now we are talking Amazon ads, right? In Amazon ads, the native ad console, it has 3 ad types, main ad types. Right now, it is a sponsored brand, sponsored product, sponsored brand, and sponsored display ads. Of course, there are sponsored video ads and TV ads as well. We're not going to go into depth when it comes down to that. But these 3 are the main ad types that can run into an account. What is really important for us to understand is what is the percentage distribution between these 3, where does most of our spend goes? Because if we don't understand that, we might start to audit and optimize for the wrong things. So first off, we want to know towards each ad type how much percentage goes. Once that we found out that, usually the next thing is going to be, okay, so this is the percentage how it goes. Is this the way how we would run the ads, or is this a way how we saw that ads were running by other agencies or other managers and were not successful? And what we saw here is that when it comes down to distribution, now this is not a hard rule. This is a rule that it has, you can play around, but mainly sponsored product ads should be taking up to 70% at least within an account, because those are the ones that we are seeing that are helping mostly when it comes down to organic ranking, because we have most control upon, right? So that's why we are recommending to have at least 70%. Now, can it be 65%? Can it be 85%? Can it be 90%? Can it be 100%? Of course it can. It really depends on your budget as well, right? But when it comes down to sponsored products, that's what we like to see in the agency. Like to see, meaning that this is something that we saw year by year going through multiple accounts. That was our success metric. Now, for sponsored products, sponsored brand, and for sponsored display ads, there we like to see 20 to 10% distribution. Again, this is not a hard rule. This is something that we like to see and we like to advocate for, just because that was successful for the accounts that we're running ads for. In your case, it might be that it goes for sponsored product 70%, for sponsored brand the rest 30%, you're not running even sponsored display ad, and that is totally fine as well. What I want you to understand is that based on that, now that we understand towards each ad type how much it goes, next is going to be towards each product how much spend it goes. Why? Because what can happen, and this is something that happens more often than we would like to see within accounts, is that people are going to spend, or advertisers, or in this case ad managers, are going to spend money on things that they should not, and especially products, if the products are not having a profit margin that is a positive profit margin. But if you would spend towards a product that has a negative profit margin, that then it's not a product launch, it's not a relaunch, it's not getting additional market share, It's going to be important for us because that is the next thing that we would be optimized for. So those are the first two things that usually people are not talking about when it comes down to ads. They're going to tell you, look at ACOS, look at TACOS. I'm telling you, look at these metrics because these are the metrics that are going to define your ACOS, like advertising cost of sales, and your TACOS, total advertising cost of sales. The total one, it is both organic and also paid ads. Next thing that we would be looking into, and I, by the way, have a very thorough video, like multiple ones when it comes down to this process. Next thing is going to be how much you control your ads, and that is going to be related to the ad types that you're running. Do you run manual searches? Do you run automatic searches? That's going to be the next one. Again, there's a whole bunch of lists. It's a long list. I'm not going to go through right now, but I have dedicated videos. Literally just type my name, Noemi Bolojan, and account audit, and you're going to find a lot of content where I was on different podcasts and I literally walked everyone through on how to do it, what they should be looking for and what not. But those three are the main metrics that I am looking at. Next question, how do I optimize PPC campaigns specifically for Amazon FBA products? All right, I love that it specifies specifically for Amazon FBA products. This might seem as a, how do you call it when you're redundancy? This might seem a redundancy, it is not. When it comes down to specifically Amazon FBA products, for FBA products, you're going to have different profit margins and different calculation than if you would be running it for wholesale products or even if it's going to be fulfilled by merchants, so FBM. The way how we would optimize these campaigns is we are always looking at the how much do I spend on the product level, and based on that, is there a way for me to first off increase my profit margins before even touching my ads? And the way how we would be doing that is we'd look into on a product level and see, all right, so this is the listing. Just think of it, if you have multiple products as well, think of it this way. Let's funnel it down. You have usually the best-selling product and then you have scattered lots of other products. This is the usual route. Another route that can be is that you have, let's say, the 5 products and each 5 is contributing in a similar way. So still applies the principle that I'm sharing. We would be finding the top selling products and we would be analyzing that one. And based on that one, what is going to be really important is when it comes down to optimization, to understand what are we doing currently, what are we not doing currently, and what we should double down on for that product. Now, you were asking about how do I optimize PPC campaigns specifically for Amazon FBA products. This is how we would do it. First, we want to define optimization. Are we optimizing towards scalability? Are we optimizing towards profitability? Optimization got this wrap of, by optimizing, I mean that I'm going to spend less. It's not true. Optimization, what it means is that you can optimize towards scalability, meaning that you are going to create new ads, you're going to do new changes to the product, or you're going to apply new strategies that still profitably it's going to scale your product. Now, if you're in product launch when no one knows your product is brand new, this is still the strategy. This is going to catch up in a longer time. If your product already is established and you're selling well, and right now you're just going to want to get more market share, it is highly applicable. Again, we're optimizing towards scalability. We're going to create new eyeballs to the listing in order to convert for us to sell more. If we're optimizing towards profitability, and here what we are doing is we are going to aim to spend the least amount of money to make the most amount of money. Here, be careful. This is also the combo that I had with the brand that I was just mentioning at the beginning of the video when I started. They were optimizing towards profitability. Now, no matter what brand we took over and they were optimizing towards profitability, what happened is that you are not going to see what is in the next 6 months coming towards your brand, but we do. Because we understand that the Amazon platform is built in such a way as any ad platform to get as much sales, get as much money as possible from their product. Their product is advertising. Ads go always up. What you got for 50 cents 2 months ago, you cannot expect to get for the same 50 cents now. You can expect that that 50 cents is going to go up to 55 cents or 60 cents or 70 cents based on, competition and based on the platform itself, because it's designed in such a way. So technically, once that you're going to optimize for profitability, make sure that the way how you're optimizing is in such a way that you're not taking away your breath, taking away the blood that is spent from the product that you're selling. Certainly hope that you found value in this one, and specifically for FBA products, the simplest way how I can explain to you is make sure that you're going to be aware of your profit margins and what is the top selling product, know the top selling product, and based on the top selling product, see if it's a profit negative or a positive profit margin, and from there to go further. All right, next question is, let me see. Next question, how do I optimize, I already read this already, yes. How do I give PPC access or permission to a child account in Amazon? So the easiest way for you to do it now, right now in 2026, February 4th, 24th, when I'm recording this, the way how we are doing it is through SPP. No, what is the short name from SPP? Solution Provider, I think, something like that. I'm blanking, sorry, I should not. But that is the way how we're doing it, and the way how we would give or request access from an account is through a solution provider way. So that is the way that Amazon right now is advocating for. Beforehand, what was a good way also to share just like child access, and based on that, you would be allowing someone to take either limited, either full access over your account. You can give them either view permission, edit permission, or admin permission. Unless you know exactly the person, that whoever it's going to go through account, I would not allow more than view permission, and that if they really need to work on the account, maybe edit permission. Admin permission would be whenever it's going to come down to someone is fully taking charge and they're going to be your partners, right? So for example, in our case, we are not anymore asking for a permission that is limited. We're asking for a super user permission. Why? Is because it's within our contract, and the ways how that's the easiest way to set up. And literally we have such a system in place that if they're really unhappy with whatever is going on, they're getting back their money. So there's like no downside, honestly. And also that is allowing us to move way quicker rather than, oh, give us this access and this access and this access. So when it comes down to a child account permission in Amazon, that is the route that I would take. This comes from a perspective of an agency owner. You as a brand owner, you would just go through these steps based on whatever the agency or manager would recommend to you. Never give more access than view, especially when it comes down to auditing your ads. Why? It's because we never take more than view access, just because we want to make sure that no one can accuse us, quote unquote, literally, actually, that we did any changes to their account before we even onboarded them. Let me know if that helped. Okay, next question. Where can I find Spanish keywords for Amazon PPC campaigns? Very easy. I believe Helium 10 also has this option that is going to allow you to find Spanish keywords. Somehow else that you could find those Spanish keywords as well is literally translating the most highly relevant product, the highest relevant product. You would translate the keywords that are highly relevant to your product in Spanish, and you can ask also ChatGPT. I know that this is a route that many people might say not to go on. It's quite accurate. I would go that route. Let me know if that helped. All right, question coming from LinkedIn this time. The question is, let me take a screenshot of your question, so I'm going to have it saved here. So the question is, if we're launching a brand new product with 0 reviews today, should we start with an automatic campaign or a manual campaign, and why? Great question. I would tell you not to start not with an automatic campaign, not with a manual campaign, but ask yourself, how much budget do you have? And based on that budget, or understand, okay, realistically, how much budget is it going to require also on my end to start a campaign on Amazon. The easiest way for you to do that is you would find your top 5 keywords, even if you want to go bold, top 10 keywords, create exact match campaign and see how much would it take per CPC, cost per click for you, to go for each of those keywords separately. Now, why am I telling you this is because if you're selling, especially in the supplement niche, the one keyword might cost you $20 for the one click. If you're selling in other niches, might be cheaper, or if the keyword is lower search volume, might be cheaper. But realistically, it could cost you $20 for one click. Now, based on that one click, as you can see, we are working backwards. Based on that click, we are going to think, all right, realistically, with 0 reviews, no one knows me, how many clicks do I require in order for conversion? And we would, the best case scenario, we would allocate at least 10 clicks because no one knows your brand, no one knows your product, you're just new to the market. So 10 clicks in order for one conversion. That is still a good scenario. How about if it's going to take you 20 clicks? Can you stomach that? And then based on that, what you're going to realize that the question is not going to be about should I start an automatic versus manual campaign, but how quickly do I want to get data to gather eyeballs and see what works and what doesn't? That would be my question. I would personally go still for manual campaigns, and especially if it's highly relevant for your product, then auto. Auto campaigns are also great, but what we are seeing on auto campaigns is that if you're not already good in how to navigate, how to pause, how to optimize, how to do all those things, automatic campaigns are going to become right now a burden rather than the manual campaigns where you know that you have the one keyword, you have it in exact match, and based on that, you're doing your optimization and getting insights. With an automatic campaign, especially if, again, I don't know your knowledge level, but based on the question that you submitted, it's allowing me to think that you might be even starting auto campaigns that even if they are separated by, auto substitutes, loose match, close match, and then complements. Even so, that is a pool of people that you're targeting. It is not the one person who would go for the one keyword specific for your product. So in a nutshell, I would start with a manual campaign based on all the data that you already pulled. Let me know if that's helped. Okay, next question. How do I download Amazon PPC reports for analysis? You would go into your campaign manager, and then there's a report section, and really depends on what are you looking for. Most important reports you might be looking for is the search term report, the business report. Really, it depends on what are you looking for specifically, to be honest. But the way, if we're talking about the topic advertising strictly, then we would be downloading the reports for the ads that are already running, so the search term report. And then this is going to be under the measurements tab in the ad console. And we are also going to look into business reports. This is going to be on Seller Central itself, businesses, and then we would like to go through the child, select by child. So then we will see for each product, how much does it contribute when it comes down to the total revenue. This in case that you have multiple products, just letting you know, but that is the route that we would be taking. Right, next question. Is there an ideal time or schedule to run Amazon PPC ads? It can be. This goes a lot into day parting. Now, day parting is a topic that it was a hot topic for a while until now it's not anymore. It really comes down to the volume that you're doing. So I would ask you, it can be an ideal time when it comes down to optimization towards profitability. Now, what I would not do day parting in case that I don't have an optimization software that's going to manage that for me. Reason for that is because manually it's going to take you way too much time to figure that out, and you can do this only on a campaign level. So what I would advise you in this case, first off, be just cognizant of how much do I actually spend per month on advertising, because if you're not spending at least $10,000, even $20,000 per month on advertising, you are just going to go into a rabbit hole and not do this. I just showed this at the beginning of the session itself. Solve one problem at a time, and this should be the highest priority problem that it's going to help you towards the business goal that you have, or the main goal that you have for your brand for the year. And day parting might be one of those things that if you're not spending enough on Amazon, you're just spending time on focusing on something that is not the most important and most impactful for your account. How can PPC be used to support A/B testing? Okay, so the next question is, how can PPC be used to support A/B testing on Amazon? The way how you would use PPC to support your A/B testing, first off, let me tell you how we are doing it, because I don't have other experience, right? So the way how we are using PPC when it comes down to A/B testing specifically is that we want to make sure that always whenever we're testing something, we don't move the needle on anything else but the one thing. In this example, let's say that you're going to be A/B testing your main image. If you're going to A/B test the main image, that it means that you are going to give a specific dedicated time for your main image to perform. Now you can do this in Amazon Experiments. You can do this quickly through an A/B testing platform such as Pickful, for example. What we're looking for here, we're looking for that one change. Now, if we are adding layering in PPC, on the PPC end, we should change absolutely nothing besides regular optimization. So we are not bleeding money, but we should be not creating new campaigns. We should be not doing anything else besides that. Why? Is because you are going to gather a lot of false evidence for something that it's not applicable. In this scenario, think of it this way. Already you have the one moving variable, which is going to be the main image change, right? So that is already one moving variable. Now, if you're layering it on top, also spending more or less on advertising, what you're going to do is you're creating this false positive of, hey, actually the image is bad and it's not working, when in fact the image might be tremendously performing well, but instead of $1,000 for this week, you spend $800 on this week. And those $200 might be that impactful for you. So this is why I'm saying that when it comes down to how PPC can be used to support A/B testing on Amazon, we would be stopping major movers when it comes down to ads. By major movers, we're not going to create any new campaign, we're not going to add any new coupons, we're not going to add any brand tailored promotions or anything on that side. We're not going to increase, decrease pricing, nothing of such order. We are going to aim to spend the same amount as we spent, for example, last week. Now, keep in mind, we're still monitoring the ads, we're still managing the ads, we're still optimizing the ads bit by bit, little by little, not major movers. And then in the meantime, we can leave as clean as possible pathway for the images A/B testing to go through. That is how we would approach it. Next question is, how do I decide how much to bid on Amazon PPC keywords? Easiest way for you to decide how much to bid is going to be, first off, finding out what is an ideal bid is that you're going to trigger an impression, an eyeball to the listing. So in this case, what we would be doing is, there are two approaches basically. It's called, I'm not even sure if it's called this way. This is how we are calling it. It's a inch up method and inch down method. Allow me to explain. The inch up method, it's going to require from you to start at a lower bid, and then, for example, you're advertising for an exact match keyword in manual campaign, sponsored product, let's say it's sponsored product, manual campaign, and it's an exact match. And for that campaign, you see that Amazon is suggesting you a $2 CPC, so cost per click, but it's also going to show you the lowest bid and the highest bid. Now, usually those are just approximates, averages, I would never listen to them because it can be totally off. So in this case, if we're going to do the inch up method, we would be starting at maybe $1. And then at $1, we would be running the ads throughout the day. And at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, what is the most important thing here for you to know is, do we get impressions? Do we get eyeballs? Because if we don't get eyeballs to the listing, that means our bid is way, way too low. So it's not going to be seen. Now, if we're going to do the same process, but with the, this was the inch up, right? With the inch down method, then what is going to happen is that we're going to start more aggressively at a higher bid. In this example, let's say still $2, it is the example, we would be starting with $3. And with $3, what we want to know is how quickly, if I'm going to show for $3 my ads, it's going to show up and get traction, get impression. Now, based on that, again, we would be checking at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, making sure that that $3 bid actually did generated impressions. And if it generated impression, it's not going to go rogue, it's not going to get too many clicks, it's not going to bleed out our budget, right? So by those two methods, you can find out what is your actually bid, what is your actual bid on Amazon, rather than deciding on, I'm going to start this way and if it works or not. Caveats here, because it's really, really important with brands who are more aggressive, who want to data as quick as possible. Our preferred method is that we're starting at the highest bid possible, and then based on that, we're collecting the information. Very, very important. If you're going to go this route, you have to stay 24/7 on the account with your eyes, because this route can also cause a lot of bleeding, lots of damage when it comes down to that. Not necessarily only damage, but you can gather very quickly data. So in that case, just be sure that you're going to check in multiple times. Now with the bid up method, this can also cause damage for the account in the sense that you're going to wait on data that is not converting and you're just going to step by step increase the bids. So that is the damage that is going to cause in this scenario. So it's really up to you to know where to start and how to start. You can start with the $2 and see whatever like Amazon suggested bid is and how it's going to work. But just as concept and as tactical it goes, these two are the methods that you can be using in order to know how much to bid on Amazon. Next question is, how should my PPC campaigns be set up for an FBA product? How should PPC campaigns be set up for FBM products? So FBM stands for Fulfilled by Merchant, and this is something that you as a brand owner would send directly to the customer, and you're not using Amazon's shipment or Amazon's distribution center to ship your product to, and Amazon to ship it to your customer, right? That is the FBA. So for FBM, what we are seeing so far is that FBM campaigns, it really depends on the category. For larger items, for example, this could still work well, the FBM route. But what we're seeing on our end when we are running ads for FBM products that are fulfilled by the merchant itself is that those products are going to convert way slower and it takes more time to convert. The reason for that is because Amazon created such a platform of convenience that me, regular Joe shopper who understands Amazon ads and is preaching you right now, Amazon ads, I am going to look up what is the product that it's going to get the fastest to me. And that is something that is also affordable in pricing and also exactly the design that I would be looking for, right? And once that I found the product, it's going to be so hard for, Amazon ads to show up on me on the same page that I already found the product. It's like, ooh, this might be a better alternative. But I'm saying, yeah, and that's going to deliver me in 2 days or 3 days, in 5 days, the product. And this one, it's literally in 2 hours because we have a warehouse nearby. So if I'm thinking that way, your regular average Joe customer, they are also going to think that way. Again, this depends highly on, is this a bigger product in your niche, all the category that or the categories that you're selling in, is FBM something specific? is that not anymore a competitive advantage? Because then it's going to be a different, approach there. But when it comes down to ads itself and how do they relate with FBM fulfillment, what we've seen on our end is that if your niche is dominated by FBA sellers, so fulfilled by Amazon versus you FBM, and if you're selling especially even a consumable product, it's going to cost you way more to convert for your ads. Let me know if that helped. Next question is again from LinkedIn. It says, what is the maximum ACOS we can afford before a sale becomes unprofitable, and what factors should we consider? Great questions, love them. Beginner questions, these are the ones that I adore because I was a beginner once, did not know how to ask these questions. Love that you're asking. So the maximum ACOS, basically on a product level, is going to be 100% ACOS. 100% ACOS equals you are going to pay exactly the same amount for your product as the retail price. When you're selling something for $50 and you are paying $50 for it on an ACOS level, that is 100% ACOS. That means that you paid exactly the same amount as if you would retail it for, which right now seems logic, right? But there's a nuance to it. There's such a thing called as a break-even ACOS. The break-even ACOS is not anymore the ACOS that it comes through via your advertising, but it is a number that you're allocating a percentage to. And the way how you would find out your break-even ACOS, you take the retail price of your product, cost of goods sold, and anything that is associated for the product to become eligible for selling. That included also the platform fees on Amazon, and that included also shipping fees that you might have or anything else that it comes down to manufacturing. You do not include here price for paying your employees, just to be clear. But anything that is product related, now you're going to end up with a chunk of net profit margin. Let's say again on a $50 per product, you might be adding up cost of goods sold, a shipping cost, maybe transition costs or whatever would be there that you would be adding up, Amazon fees as well, and you end up with a $25 after you took out that, from your calculation. That means that basically here 50% is going to be your break-even ACOS. Now that is really, really important because then 50% it is your true ACOS on a product level. But on Amazon, on the Amazon Ad Console side, you are going to aim for the highest of 50% ACOS. If you're spending 100% ACOS, it's showing up on your Amazon ads. That means that you spend double as much as you can afford for your ads. Are you with me so far? So that is why it's really important to understand that the Ad Console is going to show your ACOS on a product level from retail price. Your break-even ACOS is going to be something that you can actually afford for ads. Anything that is above the 50% is going to be negative loss, negative profit margin. Anything that is under the 50% is going to, or anything that is exactly 50%, you break even. Anything that is below the 50%, you are going to get a profit margin there. So that's why it's important for you to understand your margins first, because then that is going to help you better understand what your break-even ACOS is, and then next, what is your ACOS on the Ad Console, and then how would you tie that. Next question, how do I decide the right PPC budget for an FBA product launch? I touched base on this question in a very similar fashion that was just submitted. But when it comes down to budget, because it was not exactly this question, but it was similar to product launch, allow me to still answer your question. So how do I decide the right PPC budget for an FBA product launch? Really important when it comes down to PPC product launch. The way how we are looking at ads whenever we are launching a product, we are going to assume that things are not going to work the way that we anticipated, but they are going to work worse. And not only that they are going to work worse, but we are not looking at the monthly, but instead to a quarterly pay. Allow me to clarify. Most of the time, whenever someone is launching on Amazon, they're expecting that, hey, I'm spending this $5,000 and I want it to be successful right away. And I'm here to tell you, especially if you're launching a new product, and especially if you're launching in very, very competitive niches, competitive from the cost per click point of view, meaning the cost per click is expensive. So there's not much to do there on that end, because you have to literally just use a very small amount of data to prove something or against something when it comes down to what works and what does not for your ads. Now, in that scenario, what we are going to do, if we have this $5,000 available, we would be thinking of, okay, let's say that $5,000 is now, and let's say that it's product launch. It's highly likely that within the first month, you are just gathering data. And during this month, you might be losing that $5,000. So then what we like to see is the next month is, how can we make this account actually now more profitable based on the data that we already generated? Because the first batch of data that we're gathering, it is to prove our hypothesis that it works or it does not. Whoever is going to come to you and say, I'm going to advertise, I'm going to make you success, I'm going to guarantee 10, 20, whatsoever sales, I'm here to tell you as an agency owner, and I'm very brave about speaking up, they are freaking lying. Because you are expecting someone to be as smart or like even smarter than the whole Amazon team. They're like creating their own ads and their own platform. And it's like, man, how can you really tell me that you're going to get these results? Because based on the 5 years that, we invested on the ad platform and we understand ads, and we understand not only these ads, but Facebook ads, Google, and so on. No one can guarantee you success. If they do, direct them right here, my way. What is going to happen is that this first phase, the first month, is going to be you are gathering data. You are going to see what works, what does not, and which of your hypotheses actually work, so you can invest more money into that. Now, the second month, probably again, to make it fair, you are going to invest again $5,000. And from those $5,000, now you can expect based on my previous data, now I know where to allocate my budget and how to allocate my budget and what works and what does not. So the $5,000 maybe actually it's going to end up with bringing you sales, right? Now, the third month, again, $5,000. Here, you already have enough data. You already have proof of concept. You already know what works, what does not. You already optimize towards efficiency and towards profitability. And here, the $5,000 that you're investing are actually going to work towards whatever your goal is. And why I break this down for you and with you is because I want you to understand this is something that I did not understood. This was like, oh my gosh, I have to pay $3,000, which back then when we started selling on Amazon was more, and it's still more than our current rent, to be honest, And I'm like, that's a lot of money that I don't necessarily have. So what to do next? Because I'm already invested $25,000. Like, what's next, So that's why I'm saying that when it comes down to advertising, it's really important that you set yourself up for success by zooming out for clarity and understanding that things might not work the way how you wanted them to work, but that is still part of the plan. Let me know if that explained. Oh, what time is it? Completely lost focus. Oh, okay. Sense of time, sorry, not focus. 50. Cool. So next question is, how do I launch PPC for a brand new product? This is a question that already was answered. I'm going to skip it this time. Sorry about that. How can I clearly measure organic sales versus PPC-driven sales? Clearly measure, it's a very... You can measure. You cannot always clearly measure. The reason why I'm saying that to you is because PPC sales, you can see from, okay, that is what my ad console says. But what if you're running also Google ads and Facebook ads, and these are kind of like brand halo effect on, actually your Amazon ads are going to be the ones that are bringing the outcome rather than using the from Facebook it went to Amazon, and from Amazon actually purchased it on Amazon, or it bounced back to my website. So that is really important to understand. But if we're taking it as high level as possible and zooming out for clarity, the easiest way for you to see it is whatever it's ACOS, it's relevant to ACOS. So whatever it is brought by advertising only on the ad platform, Amazon ad platform, that is your PPC sales. And whatever it is organic, we should assume that it is not from those, right? Also, really important to understand how ranking works, especially whenever you are going for a keyword. What can happen also is whenever you ranked high enough a keyword and you're ranking already on the first page of Amazon for that keyword, what can happen is that, again, with advertising, you can decide to not anymore run ads towards that keyword, and you're still going to get sales. So technically, you're not anymore investing in ads, but you're still getting the sale. But you previously did invest it in ads, so now you're organically ranking. Now people actually, whenever with that keyword, they're looking for a product that solves a similar problem to whatever your product solves, they're going to pick your product. That it means that it's still now organic sales. So this is why I was saying that it's just a bit more, it's a cluster effect or halo effect rather than diffuser goes on, sorry, rather than input output. So you understand also the strategy behind. You know what? Cool thing about this product, actually I do have on my phone a thing that I can stop it. Send off. Oh no, I actually don't have it. I have only I'm just unplugging it. Okay, never mind. I'm going to fight through 7 more minutes. Okay, so next question is, how can somebody build an Amazon PPC portfolio without prior experience? All right, now on this topic, I did put out quite a few episodes or answer these questions because they were submitted previously as well. So I'm not letting you hanging, and I'm answering your question. Really depending on the level that you're right now. If you don't have any experience, you would just go to someone and say, hey, I have no experience, I'm responsible, I'm loyal, I am seeing these things, I'm learning these things. Would you allow me to try out these experiments that I'm seeing right now that are working for other people? If they say yes, amazing. Now, this is from your honest point of view, right? What you can also do is still have at least some experience. So in this scenario, what we would be doing is allow me to, again, share my story and my journey of how did I ended up with providing services. In my case, 6 years ago, when I transitioned into marketing from music production, I was taking a course on FBA, or how to have your own private label brand and then ship it via FBA, so fulfilled by Amazon. That was the reason why I learned so much about advertising, even if I did not had exactly how to do it, or I did not do it on my own. But I did had knowledge, and I had a lot of knowledge, and it was good knowledge and it was good information. And the brand that I was discussing with, it was social media. So the job offer was for social media. But when I saw that, okay, I can take over their social media side, I saw that, hey, they are also selling on Amazon, and they were successfully selling on Amazon $20,000, $30,000 per month for the one product. And on the German marketplace, which back then it was still considered successful, for the amount of effort that they put into the product. So I said, hey, I'm seeing that you're already doing this on Amazon. I'm seeing that already it's bringing this much income on Amazon. Allow me to take that part over, because I'm quite confident that right now, consider to the fact that you're not running at all ads, whatever I would bring to the table, it's going to help you, right? So in that case, I already had the knowledge, I already had the training. Literally, I did not have hands-on experience. But my main job, it was not Amazon ads. My main job, it was still social media. So that's why I'm saying that if you don't have a previous experience, you can still talk your way into, hey, I already have this knowledge. Hey, this is how I would think. If you are a second grader or third grader to someone who is a kindergarten or first grader, they would trust you based on whatever you're sharing with them. Now, this is really, really important, that you should not BS your way up, but be honest. Like, this is what I know, this is what I do, this is what I'm expecting. Allow me to also apply that to whatever I'm seeing, and then people are going to trust you. So that is going to be a good way to start. All right, 4 more minutes to go. I'm extremely hungry. I'm going to take a bite of protein bar here with you, because that's how we roll. Okay, next question. Okay, so the question is, how do we calculate the halo effect of our ad spend on our organic sales velocity? I'm going to be freaking honest with you. I don't. We're not doing this. We just recognize that there is an effect there. The only way how we would do that is understanding that, hey, we ran ads for this particular keyword some point in time, and then we see that we are ranking organically, and then we're not spending anymore on advertising, and then still we are ranking organically for that keyword, which means that it's still bringing us sales. So that is the best way how we would be doing this, rather than, okay, this is how much percentage. We never guarantee, we never promise, we never do XYZ. We are just, this is the best way how we can do it. Is that helpful for you? Because if it's helpful for them, for the brand owner, then it's going to be helpful for you as well. Hi, how are you? I'm doing fine. Where are you from? Well, we are streaming live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Thanks for asking. All right, and this is a session where we're answering all the Amazon ads related questions. So if you have any, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're going to stay for 2 more minutes actually, because this session has been running for the past hour. Nice to meet you too. Okay. Now, what bid level makes sense for my PPC? Okay, so negative. A really good question, and it's important. I am going to address this one as my last question. It's asking, how do I remove or adjust negative keywords correctly? When it comes down to negative keywords, think of them everything that you don't want to show up for, everything that is not relevant, everything that is too expensive, everything that might be your own brand and you don't want to show up in discovery searches for. We have to first define what negative keywords are, what negative products are, because if we're not defining them, the common practice, quote unquote, is that you have to see everything that is not working well for the account and then pause it right away and then do that. And it's like, yeah, but there's no thinking behind it. And if you're going to execute and then if you're executing and if the outcome is not the desired outcome, how do you know that you did the right thing? So first off, define what negative keywords are. Negative keywords is something that you're never converting on. Negative keywords are also something that you're converting for, but very, very expensively. Negative keywords can also become your branded search terms that you don't want to show up in a particular discovery campaign. Once that you have that nailed down, and also negative products or targets can be, again, applicable, the same thing, products that you don't want to show up for, products that are too expensive, products that are your own. Once that you have that jotted down, now you can go, okay, so what should become a negative, right? And then once that you understand that all those things are going to be negatives, then you're going to see, okay, now let's go through my search term report and let's see what's the information that I'm paying for technically, because the search term reports is information that you're paying for. And based on that, you're going to decide, should this keyword become always negative? Should these keywords become negative but only in phrase match? Should I place them, are they coming like, you will see always the same root or the same word within a search term that's never converting for you? Should you add that as a negative phrase match? Should you add it as a negative exact match? Should you add it as negative product? Should you add your own products as negatives? Then it's going to be the next filter. But when it comes down to adjustment and removal, I would first off never start something without clearly defining first. Reason for that is because you don't have confidence in I know what I'm doing. You're going to be, I was told to do this. I'm going to do it. So first I'm defining it for myself, what it means. And then based on that, I'm going to execute. Okay, guys, already it's 2:00. We're going to call this a wrap. And any questions that I did not answer here in the chat, what I'm doing, I'm actually taking screenshots. So these are that are going to become next session's questions. And we're going to answer them next time, okay? Thank you so much for attending again. My name is Noemi. We were streaming live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And these are sessions that we are running every Tuesday from 1:00 p.m. Eastern time. You're more than welcome to join also next week. Short feedback about me. We are running an agency that is specialized in Amazon advertising. All the questions that I'm answering are prioritizing Amazon advertising. Therefore, if you have questions that it comes down to advertising, feel free to join next week, same day, same time, because I'm going to be back. Okay, take care. One more comment that I look like AI generated. I take it as a compliment. Thank you. Much love to you. I'm not AI generated. I can touch my nose and my hands and this is me. All right. Much love. Take care. See you next week when we're going to be back with other topics and other answers, other questions answered. Take care. Bye.